I'm so excited to be speaking to you today. I wanted to talk to you about your personal journey. I saw one of your Instagram posts that I felt so relatable. It was right after you had your son, and you were super honest, and you said it was a stage where you'd come out of you feeling depressed, and you'd kind of just um, I guess, allowed motherhood to get you down. And I kind of wanted to speak about that and about how you empowered yourself and what your tips are for any mums that are feeling like that.
Yeah. So I think for me it was that when I was pregnant, I was really lucky to get pregnant, but it was a big shock for me. I had only been with Wade um 10 weeks, no, 12 weeks, and I found out I was 10 weeks pregnant. So and he was essentially this guy I'd met on a dating app called Raya, who was Australian. He had no family or friends here. um and I was 28, which is for me, I honestly felt like such a young mom. And none of my friends had baby, and I just didn't feel ready at all. So I was still very much in the process of overcoming addictions to drugs and alcohol. I was smoking 25 cigarettes a day still. And while I was on a self-development journey, I was still very much still in the grips of, like you mentioned, depression, low self-worth. I was just not in a good way. So I then suddenly, you're pregnant, your life's about to change. And then I started, because I had to give up smoking and drinking and everything, that I didn't feel ready, which was the best thing ever, but I didn't feel ready. I then turned to food. So I just ate my way through pregnancy, and I gained 6 stone, which is like over 30 kilos. And it was just a very, very, very dark time. And I really didn't at that point see how my life could get any better. I felt so stuck. The self-loathing and the self-hate was undescribable. I've always suffered low self-esteem, and I've always had low self-worth, but this was on another level. I wanted to literally rip my skin off. I couldn't look in the mirror. And Wade really was amazing. He was incredible. So I felt very dark in that time. And so I struggled to bond with my baby, because to me, he had done this. Right. And that's such a horrible thing to say, but that's the truth. He did this. I was like, I don't want this. This isn't the Lord I want. And but I knew that no one ever regretted having a baby. And that was what was in my head. Is you've never heard anyone say, I wish I hadn't become a mother. They always say it's the best thing that ever happened to me. So I knew I knew that the light was sort of at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. I just had to get there. But then when I gave birth, I had quite a long labor. I had back labor. It was just, I just hated, anyway, I hated myself. There wasn't this like beautiful experience that I'd seen in the movies. I just felt rough. I felt disgusting. I was like, oh, anyway, I got home, and I really wasn't I really struggled to bond those first kind of couple of months. I had so much self-hate. I didn't have capacity to love another human, even my own child. And that is why the first workshop I ever did, and my kind of favorite one, is the self-love workshop, because everything starts there. And so when Wolf started to grow up, really, I started to love myself, and and the bond with him, as you know, the bond with your child is just undescribably, it's beautiful, it's incredible, it's the best thing in the world. But it didn't come straight away. We grew together, and I love that. And it is absolutely the best thing that ever happened to me. He changed my whole world in every single way. but it wasn't a smooth road.
So I look at your Instagram and you are the queen of mantras. That's what I call you. What are your tips for someone that's not familiar with mantras on how to get started, or where to look for them, I guess?
Yes. So a mantra is essentially a sort of a positive, affirming statement. And the reason why they're so powerful is because the language that we use is so closely linked to our self-worth, our self-esteem on a subconscious level, because our subconscious doesn't know when we're lying. So if you say to yourself, I am unworthy, I am not enough, I'm no good, your subconscious simply believes it to be true, and it will react accordingly and behave accordingly to that information. So but because we can only have one thought at a time, we can simply replace that negative voice with a positive one. And saying a mantra is just a really easy way to let your subconscious know you're worthy, you're enough, and then act from that place instead of the negative one. So I use mantras basically for everything. But you can find, to be honest, you can find tons of templates online if you type in a mantra, but make it specific to your needs. So if, say, you're going for an interview and you're thinking, I really want to feel really confident and empowered in this interview, then you might choose a mantra such as um, I am a successful career woman. I am capable of anything I put my mind to. So you can think of one yourself, or you could go online and type in career mantras and choose one that really speaks to you. And I always put repeat 5 times. I don't know why. There's no science behind it. I just think once you've said it 5 times, you literally feel yourself shift. You don't even, honestly, just as I say that out loud to you, I feel an energetic shift in me. It's so empowering.
Someone told me once that when you're having a really bad day, you look at yourself in the mirror and just start laughing or smiling, and it kind of tricks
Yeah.
your body into thinking that you're happy. I guess it's a similar type of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a fantastic one. I mean, especially because when you're laughing, you're just getting all that oxygen in, essentially you just want to change your state. So if you're feeling low and you're on that kind of low vibration, you're feeling stuck, it's just what kind of quick, easy tools can you use to just pull yourself back out? So mantras is one, laughing, gratitude, meditation, breathing, walking, all these things can really help just to shift your state instantly.
I have been manifesting for a few years now, and I feel like I have got it down pat with certain things. My job, I manifested almost down to a T. But there's certain things, it doesn't matter how many times I write it down or how many times I manifest it, it doesn't come to fruition. Do you think that's got something to do with not believing in myself in that area, and not believing in it, and that's why it doesn't come to life?
100%. It's the only reason, because we don't manifest from our conscious thoughts. That's the law of attraction kind of tells us that you think something and then you think it to fruition, but that's not the case. We manifest from our subconscious beliefs about what we deserve and from our self-worth. So that's why mantras are also so powerful, when you're manifesting, because they're feeding into that subconscious belief about what you're worthy of. So step 2 of my 7-step guide to manifesting is remove fear and doubt. And so for anyone that if you're feeling stuck on something, it's come back to identifying what's the fear and doubt surrounding it really. What's your subconscious saying to you? Is it saying that you're not worthy of it, that you're not ready for it, that you're not good enough at it to have it? Or, what are those fears and doubts? Identify them and then work to heal them. And that really is self-development. It's working on removing fear and doubt and having more self-love, because self-love is the antidote to fear and doubt.
And that's like what you said about your self-love course being your first beginner course. I guess once you get that self-love, it's kind of the premise and the foundations.
Exactly. And self-love allows us to be our most authentic selves, and when we're authentic, we're magnetic.
Mm. And as a mum, it's really easy to put yourself on the back burner and to kind of lose touch with yourself. And then I saw online you had a really great, it was a six squares, and you put them down, and then they were bucketed. There was like love and relationships, career, personal development. But say you have lost touch with yourself and you don't actually know what you want to manifest in those areas. How do we tap into that in ourselves?
I think it's a case of manifesting or understanding how you want to feel, because yeah, there's very often people will say, I don't know what I want, I don't know what makes me feel alive anymore, I don't know what drives me or makes me feel excited, but you do know how you want to feel. So you kind of start with that idea of understanding what that feel. Do you want to feel excited again? Do you want to feel sensual? Do you want to feel that you are more than just a mom? Do you want to feel that you are also, all these other amazing qualities that you have? So really kind of understanding how you want to feel within yourself. And then it's looking at all the six areas that I kind of speak about is love and relationship, self-development, career, family, and then uh, wellness, like self-development, health, exercise, and fun. And then looking at those kind of categories and seeing in which of those could you think, okay, let's take love and relationships. What are the things that you want within that category? Do you want to have feel more desired or desire more? Do you want to feel that you have more better communication with your partner? Do you want to feel that you want to have more fun in your relationship? And then how can you incorporate that into your life? Can you carve out that time for yourself to do that? Because when you are a mom, you don't it's not given to you. Time for yourself is not handed to you. You have to take it, and you have to carve it out for yourself, because you want to be the best version of yourself, not just for you but for your family.
When I kind of get stuck or feel stagnant, I like to meditate on it, and then it helps me with my manifestation process. But what other ways? I guess just even taking a walk and clearing, like you said, you don't have to be without child. You could be pushing the stroller in the park or sitting in the sunshine or in the grass to tap into that.
Definitely. I think I love that you said that, actually, and I hadn't thought about this, but really, when we're around children, we can be totally present if we allow ourselves to be. Okay, so if you look at a child and the way that they interact with the world, they're so mindful and they're so in it and they're so amazed by everything they see, and if we can connect with our children in that way, on that level where we become completely mindful and present, that in itself is a form of meditation. And that is taking us to this childlike state of of feeling gratitude and wonder for the world, and that raises our vibe. So that's also a way to feed into your manifestation process whilst with your children.
Comparison syndrome. I suffer from this. I go on social media, someone I follow is living this amazing life and it's just perfect. And I start to compare myself to them, and that puts my self-love, self-worth goes down. What are your tips for people that deal with comparison syndrome?
Oh my God. I mean, we all feel this for
Yeah.
sure. Um, so, and one of my 7 steps is turn envy into inspiration. When we feel triggered, by something we see on social media, um, catch the thought first. So before you let it ruminate, catch it, understand, okay, I've seen this image, because sometimes what we do is we scroll down and then it's kind of triggering within us, and we're not catching it, because then we're on to the next picture, but it still leaves this feeling within us of, how often have you just come off social media and you just think, oh my goodness, you just feel rubbish, but you don't really know why. And it's
Mm.
probably because you haven't caught that feeling of envy that's been triggered within you. So if you catch it first and you look at an image, and let's say it's someone on a fabulous holiday, and you think, okay, I've seen them on this holiday and that's made me feel really envious, actually. So firstly, you acknowledge your emotion and how you feel about something, and you acknowledge what's triggered it. And then you can say, okay, why do I feel triggered by that? Okay, I feel triggered because actually I really miss travel. I really miss being able to have that time for myself to just have fun. Okay, how can I actually just be inspired by this image instead of triggered by it? Okay, actually, maybe this is somewhere I want to go. And actually, maybe I want to have this sunshine. Okay, let me put that on my vision board. So it's a really easy way there to just really quickly turn that envy into inspiration, validating your own feelings, not being ashamed or guilty for feeling that way, but using it in a more positive way.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm going to try that from now on. How important is self-care for you, and how do you carve that time out?
Oh my God, I am obsessed with self-care. Obsessed. So if you see my Instagram, it's like half self-development, and honestly, it's half health and wellness. Self-care is massive for me, especially having been in lockdown. I'm a face mask addict.
Me too.
But I swear, I think I was doing it so much. I was giving myself so many breakouts. I had to take it back. I was like, slow down. I'm obsessed with evening rituals. So Wolf goes down. I have some dinner, and I just start. And I know, especially if I've had a long day, I'm just like, I crave it. So I usually start with a long candlelit bath. Just having no light apart from candlelight, and I always play Ludovico Einaudi, the pianist. This for me is like bliss. So it already starts the wind down process. And then I'll have a shower using my favorite creams, making sure I really take time to smell the smells and feel the textures, and be kind of like, it's like an active meditation. And then I always, do a face mask or an LED mask, apply my creams, put on some fresh pajamas, and then get into bed. So it's just, for me, it's just my time to just zone out, not be on my phone. So many people are just, me included, our phones are just always with us. I find, honestly, even 10 minutes away from it is good.
Yeah, I'm so bad. I get into bed and I'm still scrolling.
Yeah.
Terrible. I need to have that phone free time. I need to schedule it in.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It for sure needs to be scheduled in, and especially before bed. I think it affects our sleep so negatively.
What is your biggest indulgence?
Oh, at the moment, probably my phone.
Yeah.
Is that, can I say that?
Yeah,
I
me
think,
too.
yeah, it's just too much. And I'm like obsessed with it. It's also, I mean, I know for you guys are more seeing people still because COVID is so low there, but here it's the only way to connect with people. So it's just, Instagram has just become this, like, I don't know, it's actually, it is an addiction now, I think. And I need to have some time off.
I FaceTime a lot with friends because I think throughout COVID, the one thing that for me is connection. I wanted to connect more with people and be more present. So I think I FaceTime more.
Do
Even if it's a
you?
friend that's, yeah, even if it's a
Oh my
friend
God,
that's still
I
in
love
school.
that.
Yeah, I try. Even with the kids.
You always have the kid just running in the back.
I'm still working New York hours, so I work from really early in the morning, and then I spend the whole day with the kids, which has been amazing.
Oh, that's so nice.
But it's really hard to find that balance for me time and then to have any time without the kids, you know?
Yeah, of course. Because are you then, if you're up so early, do you then find you go to bed really early, but then you haven't got your wind down time after the
That's
kids
what
go
I feel.
to
I feel
bed?
like I've got no me time and then no time for me and my partner, because then he watches the kids, he puts the kids to sleep and I go to sleep. So we miss out on that night evening time that we would usually have in a relationship together.
Yeah. Oh, that's really tough. I think I would definitely set up a date night this weekend.
Yes, we do make the most of a Saturday night and having a date night babysitter. Um, Throughout COVID, I've also found the most challenging thing, especially with my 2-year-old, is staying patient. I find myself just losing my patience so quickly. Do you have any tips on staying patient?
I think it always just comes back to empathy and compassion. It's with them and ourselves. I think it's natural that to get frustrated. I definitely know what you mean. Wolf's just started having his tantrums. It's like it's coming. Terrible twos. Apparently, it's not a cliche. It's a thing. But I think the thing that I always come back to is just the thought of they're just trying to understand and process all these new emotions. They don't understand yet. I'm actually really bad because I'm probably like a complete pushover, and I'm terrible. So I don't know if I'm the best person to ask, but I just always come back to the fact that I just want to validate every feeling that he has, and kind of, it will pass. That they're just trying to figure out their anger or their frustration. It's just so new to them. I always think when I look at a child feeling angry or crying, or Wolf's having a tantrum, he must just also be like, what is happening?
Yeah, what
And
am
so,
I feeling?
yeah, like, why am I feeling these emotions? They're so intense, and what's going on? And they don't know how to regulate that yet. So when I can come to it from a place of compassion and come down to their level, I feel that Wolf also responds a lot better when I'm super patient and open with him.
Yeah, that's a really good
It's
tip.
not, but it's not easy, and I totally sympathize. And I always feel like I don't want to sound like, I don't know. It's also okay if you do lose your temper occasionally, or you feel frustrated. Like, also,
Oh yeah, judgment-free zone.
judgment free.
Girl, I wanted to finish up. I know we briefly touched on self-fear, but I wanted to finish up on talking about that holding you back. So as a mum, say you've just gone off your maternity leave, or you want to go back into your career, or you want to go into a new career, and a lot of mums have that fear. What are your tips for dealing, I guess, for dealing with fear in general? Self-fear,
Yeah. So
self-sabotage.
yeah, I mean, fear is so, wow, God, it can limit us in every way. It's so powerful. And I always think, as powerful as our minds are to hold us back, they also have the power to push us forwards.
Mhm.
So, firstly, acknowledging that your fear um, is a culmination of past experience, insecurity, low self-worth. It's all this baggage that you're holding on to. So the first thing to do is always try to find the source. Where can you heal? What's left to heal? Where is this fear really coming from? Then I think, for me, one of the things that I always try to encourage people to know is that it's okay to be in discomfort and to find peace with things being uncomfortable, because our subconscious finds comfort in anything that's familiar, and even if what's familiar isn't good for us. So whenever we start to step outside our comfort zone, we have a feeling of discomfort, which triggers feelings of fear, panic, and then usually we self-sabotage to take us back to what we know. So we might procrastinate, we might not go ahead with doing putting ourselves out there for this new job or whatever it is, because we want to stay in what we know, in this place of comfort. So to step outside your comfort zone, it really is about going, this is going to feel uncomfortable, this won't feel easy, this will feel foreign to me, but I know that, I'm aware of that, and that's okay. It's okay to feel discomfort sometimes, but on the other side is always this beautiful growth and evolution. And that's, if you can keep that in mind always, the road to overcoming fear will be a lot easier.
That also brings it back again to, as a 360, to that self-love. and knowing that
Yeah,
you've got the self-worth and the self-love, and it's, tell me more about
exactly.
the self-love course you do.
So my next one is actually in 3 weeks.
Okay,
So
amazing. And you can sign up
self-love,
on your Instagram?
yes, on my website, there's all the details for my upcoming workshops. I do one a month, but self-love is very much about, we talk about self-love, how to increase self-esteem, boost confidence, boost your manifesting power, let go of the past, forgiveness, limiting beliefs, authenticity, self-sabotage. There's actually so much content in there. And it's really like, it's such a beautiful experience, the whole thing, because I get people to come on virtually on the kind of audio and share as well. So there's lots of connection. There's the chat box is going crazy of people just supporting each other. There's lots of exercises. So yeah, it's definitely the most emotional of the workshops. There's always a lot of tears, and it's really amazing. So yeah, please come, anybody that wants to help improve self-love.
Oh, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
I find
so
it
much.